South Florida's off-season is here. In the Sunshine State, the snowbirds come in the winter, and in the summertime, the state looks a little bit more empty. And while this is a normal fluctuation of tourism in the state, it looks like 2025 is off to being one of the worst years ever for Florida's difficult off-season, a time of the year when the tourists are gone, and what could possibly be one of the worst off-seasons the state has ever experienced. I was recently on Bradenton Beach and I couldn't believe how empty our coastlines in Florida are looking. Florida's coastline literally looks like a ghost town. This is right after sunset. By now there would normally be a traffic jam to get off the island. Unfortunately, the coastline of Florida is practically empty. In the 3 years that I've been here, I've never seen it this slow. Not even right after the hurricanes was the island this empty. I've never seen this area so dead. This is what's happening right now in Florida. There is no tourism. Normally people from Latin America, Canada, and other countries would come during this time of year to enjoy the lower prices of hotels and amenities. But due to the current climate of hate, racism, and immigration, people are afraid of coming to Florida. That means that Canadians are not coming anymore, neither are people from Latin America, and this is what our beach towns that are normally packed look like now. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's also extraordinarily heavy law enforcement presence on the island. Now, the Bradenton Police Department came out making a statement saying that it's a false report that they're doing immigration raids on the island, but everybody knows exactly what the purpose is of putting all these police officers on the island. They doubled back with another statement saying that speed enforcement detection training was taking place at the entrance of the islands. But with immigration and ICE detentions taking place this week in Florida at job sites and these islands still having a lot of hurricane cleanup, it doesn't really leave a lot of room for people in the community to assume otherwise. I mean, with the timing of immigration right now in Florida, presumably a large police presence like this would only indicate one thing, which is immigration type detentions. And whether that's what's happening or not, it certainly isn't what people want to see while they're on vacation. Anna Maria Island is an international travel destination, so you have to assume that a large percentage of the tourists coming here are going to be international. It wouldn't be surprising that a police presence on this island would do nothing more than terrorize the living crap out of tourists. Bradenton is also home to IGM Academy. It's a large sports academy that has a lot of international students, and I do rideshare in this metropolitan area. Even they are afraid of just traveling in the state of Florida right now, so the timing couldn't be any worse, and the location couldn't either. And whether it's a legitimate operation or not, it definitely is of bad taste. It simply doesn't leave too much room for interpretation. I think most people understand the purpose of there being a large volume of law enforcement presence on the islands. This is not a high crime rate area. There's no need for it. They're trying to drive home a point. Not only are the beaches emptier than they've ever been, but on top of that, they're putting a huge police presence on the island to deter people from going there. Keep in mind, with the enforcement of anti-immigrant sentiment, even legitimate legal travelers are opting not to visit the United States, and in particular the state of Florida. The state's been vocal about how it's going to bother people who are coming here just on vacation. People are coming to vacation to enjoy themselves, and they're doing it legally with a visa. They're not going to go somewhere where they're going to be disrespected needlessly or called invaders or have people screaming at them that they need to speak in English because they're in America. After all, why would you vacation in a place that treats you that way? People are opting out of visiting Florida, and it's turned our coastline into an absolute ghost town. It's also not a secret that people traveling here are also working. So many of the people that are tourists vacationing are also in the area for work and business. For example, I recently had an Uzbekistani truck driver from Canada who was on Anna Maria Island. He was using the Uber app to transport himself, staying at hotels, restaurants, but he was also working in the area. I helped him navigate from where he parked his semi-truck to the beaches. Thus, many people who are here on vacation are also here to work. It's a normal thing for people to travel when they work. With this area being just a large tourism hub, it's understandable that people find themselves in the area simply to work will also end up on our beaches, resorts, and enjoying amenities like restaurants and other things to do related to tourism. I don't really have footage of it at the moment, but if you live in the area, you may at points have noticed semi-trucks with no trailers parked at Manatee Beach. People come to this area to work and then they want to enjoy the beaches. So many of the things that are happening on a national level and on a state level are going to have a trickle-down effect in hurting our tourism. Now this is at around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night in Bradenton. You can see there's quite a bit of traffic. The city of Bradenton itself has a pretty good, solid year-round economy. It's the islands in Sarasota that are much more seasonal. Take a look at Naples, Florida. The Naples iconic fishing pier, after many years, still hasn't got put back together. The rumor in Naples is that they're not going to put it back together. They don't want tourists to visit the city. The rich people that own real estate here want to keep the rest of us in society away. They want these islands all to themselves. They don't want tourists. They don't want vacationers. They don't want us poor people that live far inland walking on these beaches. They want to do everything they can to deter normal people from enjoying these beaches. As far as they're concerned, only they're allowed to be on these beaches. The Naples Fishing Pier used to be called the Naples Fishing Pier. They took the word fishing out of the pier. They renamed it the Naples Pier because they didn't want normal people going to the pier to fish. After Hurricane Ian destroyed the Naples Pier, not the last hurricanes we had, Hurricane Ian, the one before these hurricanes, okay? We're talking 3 years ago. The Naples Pier got destroyed. They still haven't reopened it. They're not going to. The Zoda, which is a brand new hotel on Lombo Key, is currently going for $210. That's a hotel on Lombo Key directly on the water, and it's at around $210. That should give you an idea how slow tourism is here right now. The new St. Regis on Lombo Key is still at over $1,000 a night, but that's because this is a super high-end hotel for the extraordinarily wealthy. This is the type of place where rich people from up north have their weddings. A lot of weddings are still backlogged from before the hurricane because people want to have a Lombo Key or a Siesta Key wedding. This is what they're really trying to turn the entire Florida coastline into. A few very expensive hotels that cater to the absolute wealthiest people. For them, nothing has changed. So for people who live on an island with a beach in their front yard, or for people who are having a wedding at a freaking Ritz-Carlton or something like that, for those types of people, things are going great. I mean, for them, they can't tell the difference. But the regular person like me is working 3 jobs and still starving. So for me, after Uber driving on the island, barely getting any passengers, the beaches being empty, I couldn't even find anything metal detecting on the beach because there's nobody to lose anything. Literally, the reality is that these rich people, they don't see this. You see these islands are empty. You see there's no tourism. People like me who depend on tourism because there's no industry in Florida are starving. They don't see that. To them, everything's perfect. The people live on these islands and are going to a freaking wedding at the Ritz-Carlton or the St. Regis or something. To people like that, everything's perfect. For them, this is what they want. They want to have the whole place to themselves. They don't care. They're sitting on millions and millions of dollars. They don't need any more money. But people like me who have to work, we're starving. On St. Pete Beach, a hotel where you can literally walk to the beach is $125 a night right now. You can stay on Treasure Island for $120, or you can stay directly overlooking the water for $178. You can stay right on the water in Clearwater Beach for like $140 to $160. This should just give you an idea how messed up tourism is in Florida right now. I know there's people typing right now, well, it's because you're still recovering from the hurricanes. Okay, stupid, let's go look at the other coast. They got hotels on Hollywood Beach right now for $40, $50, $60 where you can walk to the beach. That should just give you an idea that on both coasts of Florida, the economy is worse than it's ever been. They got hotels right now on South Beach in Miami Beach for $50. Yeah, you can stay on Miami Beach these days for $50. The hotels, the businesses in Florida are literally starving. This is the worst economy we've ever had with tourism. People are literally boycotting travel to Florida. And it isn't just people in the United States who can't afford to travel anymore. Our tourism comes from abroad, and other countries don't want to come to the United States, and they sure as crap don't want to come to Florida. Again, like I said, who's going to go travel somewhere where you're going to be disrespected, treated like an invader, or told to speak English when you're just trying to enjoy an international vacation? None of that's appropriate, and well, at the end of the day, it's going to hurt the economies. It's going to hurt the people like myself who make a living with these tourist towns. I mean, both my YouTube channel, which I didn't have to Uber drive many years ago. I have to Uber drive now because nobody's interested in Florida. I created this whole brand around traveling to Florida and seeing our beaches and stuff. And I've had to shift into just showing the doom and gloom of Florida because nobody's really looking at Florida anymore. People aren't believing the lie anymore. And yet, despite the fact things are worse than they've ever been, recently, the government made a press conference claiming that Florida has the strongest economy in the United States. So it's this complete denial of the reality of what's happening in Florida, despite everything going to crap here, acting like things are better than they've ever been. Nobody's fooled anymore. I mean, somebody might be stupid enough to believe it and continue moving to Florida, but overall, most people understand that when a hotel on Miami Beach is $50, that things have gone terribly wrong. Even the West Palm Beach area, which is usually extraordinarily expensive, you can stay on the water for about $100 right now. And guys, it's only May. We haven't even got to June and July yet. This isn't even the worst part of the year yet. This is like before it gets bad. I mean, in June and July, if once in a while your prices got this low, would be shocking. But it's not even the dead season yet. This is the start of the dead season. What usually held Florida together during this time of the year historically has been tourists from Latin America. Colombians, Venezuelans, Brazilians, those people like from South America would come to Florida during the summertime, and this would kind of offset the slow part of the year. When these hotel prices in Miami are $50 or $100 and you still don't have people from Latin America coming over here, you know things are bad.